Thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate you, each and every one of y'all. Thank you for joining me. Today we've got a great show coming up with the one and only Texas legend from Eagle Pass. It's Gary Hobbs. Let me go ahead and run that intro. It goes like this. Wow, brother, that was a long intro, man. I was like, how long is that intro? It's like a minute long. I was like, rolling out the red carpet for Gary. How you doing, brother?
Going on in the O.
Just here, brother,
Hey,
just here.
hey, filter on now?
Yeah, let me put it on for you.
Please. I need all the help I can get, brother.
Nah, brother, you still look good. You still look good.
Brother. Hey, it's great to be with you. It's great to
Thank you
be
so
with
very
you.
much, man. Thank you. I know we've had to reschedule because of scheduling differences and everything else, but I'm glad you're here. We've got a lot to talk about. I'm really glad that you're back to the show. Friend of the show, I really enjoy everything that you are. And we were talking before we started how I mentioned that I've always considered you as a great musician first because
Thank you.
you're a consummate musician, an even better songwriter. Your music is amazing. All the songs that you have, I've got all of your albums, by the way, and
Thank you.
you are to me one of the most underrated Tejano artists that's out there, and I really do believe that because you've done so much, but yet I don't think you've been recognized the way you should be recognized for it. That's what I believe, and that's
Uh,
my personal opinion.
well, I appreciate that. I'm into it now 42 years nonstop, and I keep working. Again, for me to be still doing 100 shows, give or take, a year. A lot of people don't believe it. Well, can't convince them. But if they go to social media and they go back and they start, scrolling back and start looking at calendars, but that's been going on for decades. And so, man, I'm truly blessed. I'm blessed. It's just God's grace, and if it wasn't for my wife, my son, the band, people that the inner circle. I mean, we continue to work. Gracias a Dios.
And it's good music.
Minus the accolades. Uh, I didn't win this Saturday, last Saturday.
I
The
didn't win either.
Pinalillo. I don't think they even mentioned my name.
I didn't either. They said my name wrong, so I was like, "Wait, is that my name?"
That's another award show. I didn't win Jack, but it's all right. It's all right.
That's
Here
all
we are. We're good.
right. B. Borrado, how are you doing, my good friend from Houston, Texas? He says, the legend, Mr. Gary Hobbs. But you didn't
Oh,
vote
that's
for
what
us,
the
B.
L is for.
Legend.
The legend, the loser.
The beautiful,
No, and
but
I'm about to lose at the Tejano Music Awards. So I don't even think I'm on the nominate on the ballots. But
you
I
know
think
what?
you're supposed to nominate yourself or your management or your label or
I
whatever
know.
it is. But
I,
but I
I
am nowhere to be found on the
I
top
don't know
five
about that.
or the top 10 or the top.
I don't know about that. Uh, Friend of the show and co-host of my Thursday show, Patricia Vargas. That Barbie chick is here. She says, "Hello, how are you doing?"
Hello, how are
Yeah,
you?
Mr. Rick Valderrama says, "Saludos, my brothers."
Oh
Hey, how you
yeah,
doing,
huge
Rick?
fan of Henry Valderrama y La Patria.
Yeah, that's the one right there, man. And you know what? I love the fact that he has taken a lot of that and put it into his own music, his harmonies, going from two to three to back to
And
two.
we love Richie too.
Yeah, Richie.
Richie!
Richie was at the awards. I think he won one, and I didn't.
Richie would probably win a Tejano male vocalist award before I do. But
La Reina from Lubbock, Texas. She says, "Hello, how are you doing?" She's a
hello,
new
Rena.
singer from. We're just playing, by the way, so don't take any of what we do as being like we're not bitter. We're not. We find it a little humorous. That's all.
Uh, we
So
we finally got through that stage in our
yeah,
lives.
that was a long time ago. But yeah, no, it's really it's really fun to see other people moving forward. That's really great. We just it's sometimes it's a little alarming when they announce people and we're like, wait, dude, why don't I know who they are?
Yeah, and then the problem is that when you voice that just out of sincerity,
Yeah,
you sound like a hater, man.
yeah.
Like uh,
But you're only being honest. You're like, I really don't know who they are. Don't get mad at me, man. I'm not on Facebook 24/7. And people, by the way, I've had people sitting here getting mad at me for comments. I do comments, but I'm very technical when I say comments. Okay, you're gonna know when I talk to you because I have a very firm etiquette. And if it sounds like slang, it's not me. I don't ever slang. I don't ever use slang. I'm a very educated person, and that's the way I speak all the time. So if it's slang or some kind of guttural thing, it's not going to be me. Just take that
well,
as true.
you know, tell me who you hang with, and I'll tell you who you are. So
There
I,
you go. Yeah, I.
I
Yeah, I'm gonna X you. What was
No,
that?
you're right about that. It's like I made a comment once when El Plan won the Latin Grammy for Tejano album, and I looked at myself and I felt like the dumbest thing, but I go, I don't even know who they are, and I thought, pues I know who Tejanos are or Tejano music is, but I mean, you listen to these bands and they're great, but then we all have difference of opinion. Are they Tejano?
Yeah.
And so, but you're right, you say something and you're gonna get somebody giving their opinion, and I guess we all have opinions, but you know
Well, I said honestly what I've said that, and some people get upset over it, but it's actually a truth. Not everybody does have an opinion, and everybody has a right to their own opinion, and this is very true. But the validity of your opinion, that's a different story. I'll give you a perfect example. If I sit there and I say Bill is a terrible plumber, well, my opinion really doesn't mean crap because I don't know shit about plumbing. I don't know how to plumb. So my opinion of Bill doesn't matter. Now, if John, the plumber, says Bill's a terrible plumber, well, John knows what he's talking about because he's a plumber too. So his opinion is better than mine, even though I can say he's a terrible plumber. Because
no, but Bill sucks. I know him. He
he's,
sucks.
he's Borrado says Indio, Mr. Hobbs is the real legend, though. That's the one. Yeah. Remember, he's Kakukuka here in Texas. I mean, here in Houston. That's where he was at. Yeah. B used to work there. So, yeah, definitely. I remember back in the days.
Kakukuka.
Kakukuka. Yeah, that's the one, man.
A lot of
Irma,
memories.
Irma Salvio, oficial. How are you doing? She says, hello. How are you doing?
Hello, Irma.
Gigi La Chicana Guerrero, saludos from Mission, Texas. How are you doing, Gigi? Thank you very much for joining us, sweetheart. And she says, hello, Lawrence. She's like, okay, you too. The loser. I saw you at the award. You too. Saludos, Mr. Gary Hobbs.
Hello,
No,
Gigi.
no. So I mean, you have been really busy, and that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. You're doing what you love, and you know your music to me has always been the epitome of Tejano music in the sense that it's been consistent, and it shows the what the essence of what Tejano is. It is a staple. It is much like the David Lee Garza. Y'all are the like the cornerstones. It is a consistency, and Gary Hobbs music, just like David Lee Garza music, just like Jay Pettis music. These are you guys are the you know for lack of a better description, y'all are the triangle of what it is for music. Um, where you find, if you're looking for that Tejano sound, that traditional Tejano sound, and the building blocks, that's where you're gonna find it. And it's hard coming up with new sound, new music. Where are you going? Where are you grabbing your music from, man? What's the because you're all, I mean, you're pumping out music all the time. I know you did a duet with Mr. With
Freddie Martinez
Freddie, Senior,
Senior.
Freddie Senior, and he wrote the song. But what is it that where are you getting your fountain? Where's the fountain of music coming from?
With Don Freddie Martinez Senior. When I signed with Freddie Records, I saw it couldn't it didn't come to mind to me had he done a collaboration with any of the artists or my colleagues my age or and so they sales pitched the song to me and I liked it. But when I heard I listened to it, I heard it, I saw the lyrics and I go, this is Freddie Martinez classic, like. And so I asked him to, I asked Freddie Martinez Jr., uh, do you think your father would do a collaboration with me? And he said, I don't know why not, but I'll ask him. And it was during that hour or something, and he talked to him, and he said that he'd love to do it. So it wasn't so much a feather in my cap as much as an honor to do with Don Freddie Martinez Sr. If I had my way, I would have loved to have done a collaboration with Jimmy Edward. Oh my God, I would have been
Yeah.
high flying. Then I wouldn't have been but music today, perfect example to what you're asking. We try and make music Gary Hobbish, Gary Hobbs friendly.
Yeah.
If I can't feel it, then I'm not gonna come across it. But we're looking for songs that'll fit a different, a certain beat, a certain tempo, and so I do dabble at this instrument, that instrument, that. But I sit in the piano and I try to hear things. Once I decide on a song, then of course it takes the next step. Figuring it out with Hector Gutierrez, stuff like that with the band. Uh, but I think the perfect example is Juan Trevino. I think I said it once, but I had heard of Juan Trevino, but I didn't know Juan Trevino. So when Juan Trevino wins the Latin Grammy, for best album Tejano, I'm saying like
Who's Juan?
okay, well, yeah, but little did I know that he's a phenomenal singer and a phenomenal songwriter, and I'm like, shoo. So when I hear his material, I heard a lot of songs, and I thought they were great, but I didn't think they could fit what I wanted to do. So some time lapsed. I should have gone back, but this was before, right when I was starting. I was gonna sign with Freddie Records, and so I already had material ready to go on the shelf that I thought would work because I had written like 6, 7 songs for the first album, Scene Fiend, on Freddie Records. But for this second album, uh, it had to go through somebody at the label, and it went to our producer, and maybe Juan felt shited at first that he had sent me like 11, 12 songs, and I just couldn't reason with how to make them Gary Hobbish. But this material that he sent me, the, one of the first songs I heard was Soy Libre, and we ended up recording 2 more songs from him. You know, Acaso no te das cuenta, which is a collaboration with him. But his style of writing put a big challenge on me to try and make it ours, and his phrasing, oh my God, he's phenomenal. But I think we're always open to hearing music, but I think the key for me is always to try and make it Gary Hobbish, I'm not in the business to impress anybody from the other genres or from other radio stations. I'm not in the business to. I need to make sure that I take care of customers, customer service, our support system. Our family and friends, Tejano Music, and people that have supported us. And so that's what motivates us. And then the key is to make them dance. My priority is to make those people dance. Now, younger generations may not be in the dancing atmosphere because now they're at festivals. They're standing. I still can't get used to that. I mean, I get bag of nerves at every gig anyway.
Yeah.
But 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 having a standing crowd in front of you, that takes a lot of a lot of factors, talent and choreography, a lot of things. But to me, I mean, I came from the ballroom era, and the ballroom, the dances. Oh my God, uh, I don't think some of these young artists have ever experienced being at a big ballroom, civic center, and they're dancing Tejano, and but there's 1,200 people there in front. I mean, I got to see it because I was opening up for big bands, in 83, 84, 85, and we got to see a little bit of the heyday in the 90s was the golden era. But to see people dancing right in front of you, not reserve tables where they pay up the galore, up the
Yeah.
gazoo, and the dance floor is way back there. No, but here in front, people just dancing, dressed to the nines, looking sharp, and oh my God! And when you see them singing your song, and especially if you wrote it, oh my God, it's euphoric, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't get used to people standing. So I have to look at music that I can get away with it, and I can feel it, but I can make them dance. So that's one of the things that got us to start writing and looking for songwriters and looking for original material. Ain't
But it's
nothing wrong with ain't nothing wrong with doing cover songs, except that if you're doing a cover song from a Tejano artist like 10, 15, 20 years back, then you're going to be compared to that. Now, if you do a cover song from Pepe Aguilar like I do, well, they're not going to compare it in the Tejano realm, but they are going to compare the voice thing. But if we can make it fit into Tejano, tempo and beat, then I'm happy with that, right?
yeah.
But I think that's the key with me, Gary Hobbs. Look for music that is going to make our audience dance. Again, our audience, not somebody else's audience, but our audience, and make sure that I can feel the song. I'm very sentimental when it comes to lyrics and stuff like that, and but I think that's key with me.
Well, I mean, a lot of your music, like I said, I have all of your albums, and so a lot of your. I think I've told you before. I have my Sunday show that should have been a bigger hit, and so I play a lot of the music that you never released. From your earlier albums that I
Or I
think are.
never, or I never performed.
You never performed. I think I
Yeah,
asked you for one song, and I can't remember what it was, and you were like, "No, that's too hard, man. It's too many. It's too long. I'm not. I don't have the lungs anymore."
yeah.
Because you have these big, beautiful ballads, man. That's the one thing that I've always loved about you. You've always been able to put out some beautiful ballads, and
Yeah,
and
I'm a sucker for the love thing. Yeah.
that's great. Borrado says, "Hey, Mr. Freddie Fender's baby girl is now singing." Well, that's cool. I
Yes.
know at the award show, Pio Trevino's daughter was singing with him at that show. They did a song together. David Vela, hello, NDO. Oakland in the house. Oakland is watching. Big David Vela. Be sure you catch him. He's on Netflix. He is the Centurion, the main guy, the big guy in the TV show Chosen on Netflix. Be sure you check him out.
Wow.
So
There you
you
go.
got to support him. He's tall, man. And when I met him, he was wearing his Super Bowl rings because he used to play with the Raiders. And so I was like, put that crap away. I'm a Cowboys fan. No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Gigi says, "Oh yes, the good old days, los días de el
La
Villarreal in
Villarreal,
in
La
McAllen,
Villarreal in
Texas.
McAllen. Yeah, that was the place.
That was a place.
Yeah.
I've actually seen you a lot in here in San Angelo in West Texas at the you remember the Corona Club over there in
Huh?
Odessa and Midland and I've seen you there here in San Angelo at the Knights
I
of Columbus Hall and
I remember we put on a couple of concerts. I want to say late '90s or something. Then we went to the River Stage. We took. I made the concert, with my family, and we took Ram J and us, and so we did it there, and we did it in Dallas somewhere. But I remember the River Stage, right? That
yeah,
was a nice place. I
yeah,
loved
yeah.
it there.
Yeah, that was, and it was that was also like you said, the dance floor was in front of the stage, and the chairs, the river stage, the seating was up in the backside because it was well, like a palladium.
Ah,
Carlos,
the good old days.
it's still there though, so I mean you can still do it. I think the thing is that people have to understand music has evolved in such a different kind of way, and that's kind of where I want to push a lot of the people that listen to the show to better understand. Yes, I totally agree. You should stream the music. That's okay, but I believe you should buy it, and I'll tell you why. Because even just recently, here in this past June, Spotify has already changed their licensing process. You know, the way they pay their artists is totally different now. You know, at the beginning of the year, you had to get 1,000 plays before that you got any kind of royalties. And if you got 999, you didn't get anything, and they didn't roll over. You started all over the following month. And now it's that is in place, but it's reduced even more to 0.007% of a penny just to get one stream, just from one stream. And so they're making money. They're gonna make money. Spotify's gonna make money, and now it's being bought up by Columbia. So the record companies, the old record companies, they're gonna make money. But where's the
The
artist in this
record
entire
co-
thing?
the record company, not the nation, right?
Right,
Not
right. Yeah. So where's the artist in this whole entire thing? I always tell the
at
story.
the bottom of the totem pole.
Right, right. I tell the story of when I was a kid. I cut grass for 3 weekends to make enough money so that way I could go down to the record store and buy my first Aerosmith album. But that's what it took for me to get music. See, I had to work 3 weekends just to earn enough money to buy the music. But now it's $19 and you get thousands of albums. They've devalued the amount of music
and and,
and the work and
and
effort
those
that
that
people.
and those that know how to get it for free.
Yeah, and those that know how get it for free, but they've devalued music. But that doesn't mean that the effort and the work and the love that artists put into the music is any less. So we should be giving them an appreciation and saying, "Hey, we love you, we appreciate you, and we show that appreciation going to their shows, buying their merch, and buying their albums, buying their music." And that is what we need to do. If you're listening to us on the radio station, on the radio app, there's going to be an add to cart button for every song that we play. You can go ahead and click on that add to cart button. It'll take you to Apple Music, and you can buy the music or buy the whole entire album or all of Gary's albums. Actually, they're going to be there. I don't make any money from that transaction, but because I am a fully accredited radio station with ASCAP, BMI, CSEC, and SOCOR, I get a discount on my licenses. But that's how you support Tejano music. That's how you
And
keep
we
it going.
appreciate it.
Yeah. See, they appreciate it. Carlos P. Garcia, another good artist. He's got some great music. He's going to be on a show here pretty soon. He says,
Hey,
saludos.
Carlos.
Thank you very much, Carlos, for being here. Eddie Lira, he says, love your music. Hello from San Antonio, 1604 Cantina Food Truck Park. There you go. Thank you so very much, Eddie. Turn it up because we're fixing to play his new song
1604
here in a minute.
Cantina Food Truck Park.
He was, you know where that's at, man. Let's
Been
see
there,
here.
done it.
Yeah, any chance of you doing a duet with a female artist? Is it,
Pues we had the pleasure of doing a collaboration, of course, with Stephanie Montiel, and we'll see what new material comes up really, really soon to see if I wouldn't mind doing something else again with Stephanie. She's just she's just an elite singer. She's
Oh yeah.
man. We did a song by the name of Amores Como Tú, and she just killed it. She nailed it. She, oh my God, it's like, I mean, she, man, I didn't want to sing on the track anymore. Oh
she's
no,
a she has, I think she's a perfect example of excelling with her vocals. Her music has her vocals have gotten better as she's come along. She was already a great singer. Okay, I'm not saying she was a bad singer. No, she was already a great singer, but her her vocals have gotten extremely better, if you can say that. I mean, just to say that, if you listen to some of the songs that she first started out with, they were kind of bubblegum, you know. But here recently, some of the stuff that she's been putting out now, some of the stuff she does on stage is just incredible. For the vocally, you can see how gifted she is. She's really let go of the reins, and she's gone on to do some really incredible stuff. And
yeah, she's fabulous.
yeah, she's really really amazing. Let's see here. Oh, Alfredo, the lone Mexican. He says, Hello, everyone. How are you doing?" And Grupo Fijo, that's where he's from. Shout out from DFW. I'm a big Harry Hobbs fan. Legendary. Dijo no así.
Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex.
Yeah, there you go. He's like, come on down, show me. Yeah, it's Tejano time. What time is it? It's always Tejano time. Rory Ann Smith, she says, sending my friend, hey, my friend, sending you my love. Thank you very much. Rory's got a show there in San Antonio. She's a woman about town, talking about all the foods, great eats, and everything else that's there. You look good, my friend. Thank you so very much. It's all a fake. It's all mirrors. it's all the, what is it, the filters.
How come the filters are on yours and they're not on me?
You know what? I've had somebody sit there and ask me, how do you do it with your? I go, I'm a photographer. I'm a videographer. I know how the lights work. I know how to make you look
No,
beautiful.
you're Houdini or something.
It's because I have two lights here. I've got lights everywhere. I know how to use light. That's my deal.
Evidently, I don't know how.
My Stephanie has always been a triple threat. Yeah, she started out as a I mean, she didn't start out, but she's always been a dancer, and that's been a key implement or key element of her show was dancing. So that's definitely a deal. Let's go ahead and take a listen to Soy Libre, and that way we can talk about the song, brother. Man, it was good, kind of reminiscing and everything else. But we need to talk about the song because it's a good song, and we'll talk about Soy Libre and we'll come right back. But listen to this song, and enjoy it, because this is, I don't know, Gary. How would you put this song? How do you? What's your definition of this song? How would you put it?
Question went over my head. Wait, let me read your mind. Let me read your mind.
It's a good song. It's not a. I don't have a. Let me formulate my opinion so that way I can kind of tell you what it is that I feel with this song, because I don't want to misrepresent it. I want you guys to fall in love with it, listen to it, and I don't want to guide you in what you should think about this song.
Well, it's a great song. I don't know about the rendition. I don't know about the rendition, but it's a great song.
It's a great song. Check it out. Soy Libre from the one and only, the legend himself, Gary Hobbs. That's him. That's Gary. I'm Indio. It goes like this.
Que me extrañas, que otra vez te equivocaste, que aprendiste a valorarme en todo este tiempo, que de mí estuviste lejos. No lo creo, es otro de tus caprichos para regresar conmigo, estar a tu lado. Solo fue tiempo perdido. Ya ves, ya no soy el mismo que tú maltratabas. y no te decía nada. Yo ahora soy libre, dueño de mi tiempo, y si de algo me arrepiento hoy, es haberte conocido, porque a tu lado conocí el dolor, cuando yo solo te brindaba amor. Con tus palabras no puedes borrar estas heridas, para siempre están. Llegaste tarde, tú ya puedes irte. Soy tan feliz ahora que soy libre. Ojalá que te sirva de lección, que no se juega con un corazón. No, no. Ya ves, ya no soy el mismo que tú maltratabas y no te decía nada. Yo ahora soy libre, dueño de mi tiempo, y si de algo me arrepiento hoy, es haberte conocido, porque a tu lado conocí el dolor, cuando yo solo te brindaba amor. Con tus palabras no puedes borrar estas heridas, para siempre están. Llegaste tarde, tú ya puedes irte. Soy tan feliz ahora que soy libre. Ojalá que te sirva de lección, que no se juega con un corazón. No, no.
Can't hear you. I can't hear you. Why?
There
Now I
it
can hear you.
is. Sorry, I turned it off. I was like, wait, I hit the wrong button.
Nice song.
Nice song. Yeah. No, no, no. I was like, yeah, Irma says it's a nice song. So does Gary. I mean, Carlos P. Garcia. He says it's sounding great, Gary. And that's the Gary Hobbs sound. It's I don't know how to put it. The consistency in the tone and the tonality of it. You know, it's consistently good dancing music. It's meant for people to be together. I think that's one of the things that I find a lot of lacking in some of modern music. It's not meant for people to be together. Music should be something that you enjoy as a person. I mean, as a group. You're with someone and you hold them and you can dance together. And it constantly reminds me of, you know, when I first saw Tejano music, like this kind of Tejano music, my very first experience, I remember remarking how it looked like they were floating on clouds when they were dancing. It was elegant. There was an elegance about it. You know,
Nice word. Nice
yeah,
word.
and so that's what I hear from your music. And I've always equated you with that. That level of just just that elegance in your music. And like I said, you got
Appreciate
terrific ballads, man. Your ballads are amazing, brother. I That's one thing, you know, tops off, bro. Great
Well,
song and video, says
I've been
Ramon.
blessed. Mariano Herrera there at the studio, he says, he's got a phrase and he says, it sounds expensive. It sounds expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I've been. I mean, you show consistency with a lot of things. Players around you. Hector Gutierrez has been a friend of mine since '83. We worked a lot of years together, and so he knows me inside and out. He kind of knows what I'm gonna like or not like. But since he was on the road with us, he knows what a lot of our public likes. So he knows what we're capable of doing and what we're capable of duplicating live. It's easy to, we've all dabbled with a little beat here and there to finish a song, but unless you can duplicate it on stage, then that's not us. There's bands that do that very well, right? And let's don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's like you go see a um, J Lo or anybody, even Bruno Mars. They're playing live over pre-recorded stuff, and it just enhances the sound, But with us, there's just a lot of consistency with the players, with Hector, you know. But bringing on music like that, like Juan Trevino's, his style, and trying to make it a little bit of ours was challenging. But he's a phenomenal writer. He's a phenomenal singer. Oh my God! I had heard the name, but of course I guess I must live in this little Tejano world and staying in my lane. But there's so many gifted songwriters out there. But Soy Libre was, the minute I heard it, I thought, man, this can go Tejano, and at least our style, right? And you get that from great songwriters, that you can dabble and change a little bit here and there, and they're not hurt their feelings, but they encourage it. So, man, big shout out to Juan Trevino, man.
Yeah,
Again,
it's also that you've incorporated some of the old school keyboard that goes in it, and it doesn't sound hokey. It's very intentional, and it sounds deliberate, and it's more of a flute than an actual hokey kind of. Because some people put it in there for nostalgia purposes, but it's more of a kind of a haha, as opposed to an actual element of that lifts the music, lifts the song, as opposed
yeah.
to kind of just a thing that's in there. And the consistency in the drum pattern is also another thing that's really, for me, it's really good. You got a great setup for the pre-chorus as well, and it's just, there's so much that's in it that I can just pull apart and that I really love, that makes a good song.
Well,
And
it's tricky when you first, the song's got to sell itself. But tricky when it comes down to recording, and because naturally our audience, are they going to love it? Are they going to be able to dance to it? And then you'll hear the newer generation and say, ah, man, Gary, same old, same old, and they don't get it. It's not like I'm knocking my rocks off. It's got to be customer service, and you got to feed, that audience that is supporting you. But
yeah,
to make it sound old school and bring new school into it, it's tricky, and I think we've accomplished it on these last two albums. But I am my worst critic. I hate the way I sound. I hate the way I sing. I need to get better, and I'm already worried about the next album. What songs am I gonna find those songs? How soon can I get in the studio? Stuff like that. But no, nobody can criticize me worse than what I do. So I take it. I got thick skin, but I gotta make it Gary Habish. I gotta make it Tejano. What I think is Tejano, and again, it's about taking care of our audience. Just a little sidetrack. No, that's exactly what we do on our cruises. It's
yeah.
nothing but Tejano music, and they'll ask me why don't bring take somebody that plays conjunto or cumbias or stuff, because it's a Tejano cruise, and we have a dance floor 60 feet by 40 feet, but it's about the dances. And when you ask our cruisers, their main thing is they want to dance. So it's the same thing going to the studio, but it's always tricky and challenging. But again, I'm surrounded by great people, starting with the band and compadre Jaime, and a big props out to our keyboard player Gabriel Gil, because we use them very seldom in the studio, because Hector Gutierrez has been producing me for a lot of years. But Gabriel can actually perform and duplicate on stage like nobody else. Eh, We'd be lost without him. But But mi compadre Jaime Samago on the bass vocals. I don't think I've ever had anybody sing backup, that tight with me ever. Of course, he's been in and out of this, here 29 years or something. But Hector produced it, Hector Gutierrez, and at the studio, Mariano Herrera, Eli Molina. It's just the resources there at Purdy Records are incredible. But takes a lot of things, a lot of tricky things to just to put out our own sound,
Yeah,
not not even worry about what other people or other colleagues are thinking. But
that's that.
let me tell you, they're looking, brother.
That's one of the
Everybody looking.
that's one of the things that I was mentioning earlier. It takes so many people to put out a song.
Does
Writing the song, and then you've got to put out the dummy track, and then you got to record the instruments, and then you put out the vocal track, and then you got to come back and then put in the real instruments, and then come back and do the vocals again, and lay down the vocal track, and then you got to mix it, and then you got to put in extra instruments if you need it, or backup vocals if you need it, and then you go back and then do another mix, and then in the mix mastering, and then finally it's getting ready to be put out, and then you've got all kinds of things like what's the media side of it, pictures and all this other stuff. All of that goes into one thing, and finally it comes out, and then it's got to go through distribution, and then from distribution to talking to and doing this kind of stuff for you to get out into the world. And that takes money, that takes time, that takes effort.
time times 42 years. Thank you very much.
Yeah, times 42 years. I think there's a great quote that I say that a good friend, and hopefully he's doing okay. Johnny Martinez said to his class, he would tell them, the glitz and glamour on stage, the people yelling out and cheering you on and everything else, that's 10% of being an artist. The rest of it is preparation, practice, and everything else that goes behind it. That's only 10% of being on stage. The rest of it is all the other stuff. And it's very, very true.
Well, with me, it's probably 5%.
Because you're doing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I've seen you perform every year, every decade for 40 years, except for when I was deployed in the military. And yeah, you've never failed us. You've always put out a great.
I
You've
appreciate.
always put it.
I,
You've
I
always put a
may
great show.
I may fail you really close, really soon, but what what happened is that I got this bug to start playing the trumpet again,
Oh,
and I started. I mean, I haven't played in decades, and like the last two weeks, like 2 days out of the week, I started grabbing the mouthpiece, and then I started just blowing long, low tones, just long, long, long,
yeah,
trying to see if I can develop an armature again. And I used to play. I know the notations to an alto sax, and so I'm looking at the trumpet. So I did like 30, 40 minutes of that, and then I looked at the sax and I go, you know what, man, I'll be danged if I have this thing in me to maybe 3, 4 months down the road I can have armatures again, and the accordion, Lawrence, I think the accordion is the hardest thing that I've ever. I mean, it was like Chinese to me. Like I can play a song, and then and so now I have this little bug that it's not. Believe me, it's not like I have a lot of time on my hands because I don't. But there's just something in me that I started going to the gym the last 3 nights, and I go at 2, 3 in the morning. Okay, so I'm a nocturnal person, and I go to sleep at 6 in the morning, 5:30, whatever. But and so I'm hurting today. But but just I have to try and stay healthy. But trying to think what I can do to, I gotta. It's not about keeping up with the Jones, or the whoever's. It's about pushing myself.
yeah,
I'm my hardest critic, but to get back out there and really play a little bit more acoustic guitar or more piano or pick up the trumpet again and finish learning the sax like I started to. It's something that maybe I'm hoping that the next 2, 3, 4 months some of it will, be able to be translated into live performance.
Well, I've always known you as a piano player, so I mean, I know that you were classically trained. Wasn't your mom like in real big in mariachi? I know your dad was in the Air Force, right? Yeah, and I always wondered, you were born in Amarillo. How did you end up in Eagle Pass? You're on two sides of Texas, bro. You know,
I think it was Greyhound bus. I'm not sure, but
but I fully understand. I picked up the bass because we needed a bass player, and so I learned how to play bass. And we found a bass player, and we needed a keyboard player, so I picked up keyboard. We needed a conga player, so I started percussion. It was just one of those things. But I'm one of those weird ones that I can read and learn from reading it. I don't have I don't have to like bang it out or anything. It's to me it's I don't know. It just works. I'm weird.
well, I read music. I read music. It's just it's not used very much in Tejano, but I read music, but I pretty much went through the same thing that I think I've during those 42 years I've had to perform and sing just about everything except the drums. You know, I can kind of beat on it a bit, but I'm not that fluent at all on drums like that. But although trivia question, if you go back to the Salvame CD on Hacienda Records and you listen to the song Salvame, uh, Arnold Garcia, the engineer, dear friend of mine, but Arnold will tell you that, and I guess it was the party days, but I went in and I recorded the drums track by track because I couldn't put it together. But I recorded track by track on a song named Salvame, something I wrote, Hacienda Records, Salvame. I don't know if that was on,
That
was it
was
Hacienda or RCA
it
or
was it was Hacienda.
Hacienda, but I thought they had licensed out. But it's Salvame. It's a ballad, a slow song. But I've had to perform and sing everything except the drums. I've done the guitar. I've done the
You
bass once,
you did
and
the whole
keyboard.
thing?
I've, the whole show. Yeah,
Hold on. Give me
this
just a
was the
second.
'80s, of course.
Of course, and you gotta love the look, guys. You're gonna love the look. Check it out. Check it out. Where'd it go? Oh,
Listen,
Si todo mi calor y amor te lo entregué yo a ti,
oh yeah.
¿con qué derecho buscas otro amor? Las noches largas pasan tristes y en soledad tu presencia, mi amor, necesito de ti.
Gary, first of all,
Sálvame, necesito tu calor, mi vida, quiéreme. Recuerda el pasado que
Gary,
de ser.
first of all, you provoke my envy because you have a hairy chest. I don't have any hair.
not anymore.
I don't have any hair at all. Richie Valderrama joining us. Hey, he says, "Saludos. How you doing, Richie?" Irma wants to know, how old were you in this photo, bro?
23 or 24, give or take.
He was 17 in this picture, so
No, I was 23, 24, something like that.
yeah.
Te juro nuevamente no te dejaré. Termina de alejar mi amor y
Pretty straight, you see.
que solo con tu
I did
amor
track by track.
yo puedo.
It's a great. You know what? This is what I was telling you. This is why I really enjoyed all of your music because you had great ballads. All the music that you put out there was so good. And granted, you didn't release every song because of the fact that we didn't. That wasn't the norm back in the day. You just put a lot of music. You put 10 songs out there. You would release three, and
You know, when I hear youngsters tell me that it's just Tejano and and that I never go out of the boundaries. Well, I did. I was doing it. I got signed up as a 22-year-old, and in those 3 4 albums, yeah, they were albums.
yeah, they
they,
were.
they weren't 4 track, they were 8 track, but I the first album I recorded Give It To Me Baby by Rick James. On the second album, there was
Yeah,
Maniac by Michael Sembello. And then the third album, there's a song there called On the 15th Floor, Born on the Border. I was doing English stuff too. And so, and then there's a country song, Leaving Louisiana. The Oak Ridge Boys recorded that. So
yeah,
when I hear stuff, people just talk the talk because they don't understand. They're not really educated in that. But I encourage them to always record Tejano and rancheras and cumbias, and I encourage them to, if they have, in them that they want to do something in English, or I've always encouraged that with young artists, because if they have what it takes, then man, they should flaunt it.
yeah.
They got to go for it. But I've done mariachi stuff, and original stuff there. Uh, we did vallenato in the
Yeah.
'90s before anybody started doing it, but uh, but I think I can still grow the stash.
I keep telling people this really is no shave November 2016 or 17. This is the very best that I can do.
No, I have a problem. This every 2 days. So
No, I shaved I the day before the awards, which was Thursday last week. This is that's it. That's the very best that I can do.
well, at least you save money on the razor blades there.
Right. And then it costs like
Always,
what a
it's always a positive to everything.
yeah, 50 cents. Okay, cool. Raymond DJ Ramon Gomez says, hey, thank you, Gary, for 42 years of great Tejano music.
Thank you.
Tejano music is in the house, definitely. And Irma says, would you consider doing a collaboration with another genre? If so, with who? It's a good
Uh,
question.
That's a good question.
You
I don't think I would ever say, no to collaborating with somebody in a different genre. Can I can I feel that I can do the job? Can I do it justice?
do it justice, yeah.
And so what kind of genre was I anything ballad, romantic, pop rock. I would love something like that, in Spanish, of course, in
Hmm.
Espanol. Pero, but can I, an example is the collaboration with Stephanie. You know, we still had to, man, that song, when it transitions from one key to another, man, the Hector and the guys did a great job, but we were set on, I think I was singing in G or A. I gotta remember. And
Do you want me to
and when
play it?
we
I have
got
it.
when we got to Steph's part, she hadn't heard the song. She got there, she heard it once, twice, and she goes in, and then she know how to ask if we could go one key higher. So the transition changed again because she sings really high.
Yeah,
But
she's
then
looking
she
at.
heard it once, she heard it twice, and then she's so down to earth. She's so down to earth, and she comes and she asks me, Gary, what do you want me to do, or what would you like? And I go, no, you just be you. Oh my God, she goes in there and she nails it. And of course, her husband Gabriel, you know, Gabriel sat. He was just looking and listening, and I know Mariano and Hector and I asked him for his input, and he just sat and they just rolled it out like, oh my God, you can tell they besides the love, They really work great, at music together. But Gabriel Zavala is just man, he's phenomenal as well. But so the key change with Steph, and I would look at somebody like that on collaboration with somebody that I don't have to go too high or too low, and because of the transition, it changes the melodies. Like on Amores Como Tu, I had to go down, da 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 da, because the transition comes in. I can't afford to da 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 da, because then the transition doesn't allow that. So I would be very careful of music to do a collaboration with somebody. But man, you know,
Well,
for your records somewhere.
yeah, the leading tone is good. I have the song. Why don't we just go ahead and take a listen to the song?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. So here is Gary Hobbs and Stephanie Montiel with Amores Como Tu.
The Stephanie Montiel.
The Stephanie Montiel and the Gary Hobbs. So check it out. Here we go.
Amores como tú me han robado el corazón, me llenaron de emoción. ¿Y todo para qué? Amores como tú no merecen mi perdón, jugaron con mi corazón y yo no sé por qué. Por eso ahora no me vuelvo a enamorarme, ya no quiero engañarme con amores como tú. Como fuiste a enamorarme para luego engañarme con amores como tú.
Amores como tú me robaron el corazón, me llenaron de emoción. ¿Y todo para qué? Amores como tú no merecen mi perdón, jugaron con mi corazón y yo no sé por qué. Por eso ahora ya no vuelvo a enamorarme, ya no quiero engañarme con amores como tú. Como fuiste a enamorarme para luego engañarme con amores como tú.
Por eso ahora no me vuelvo a enamorarme, ya no quiero engañarme con amores como tú. Como fuiste a enamorarme para luego engañarme con amores como tú.
Por eso ahora ya no vuelvo a enamorarme, ya no quiero engañarme con amores como tú. Como fuiste a enamorarme para luego engañarme
buddy.
She nailed it.
I know. And she's like always in the GA area. She's way up here, man.
My God.
In the cloud, man, in the cloud. It's such a great song. And,
Written by Ramon Reina, el papá de Ray Reina, the singer.
yeah.
They're out of that Dallas Fort Worth area, but it's a beautiful song. But Mr. Ramon Reina is papá de Ray Reina, the singer from
Yeah.
Dallas Fort Worth.
That's a great
Metroplex.
song. Definitely. Irma says she loves it. She sent an emoji. I can't show the emoji, but she does says she loves it. She asked another question: who are your top 3 musical influences growing up?
That's easy. Jimmy Edward.
Number 1.
Ooh.
You better say your mom. You better say your mom.
Well, no, she's above.
She's above all
It's
of them.
really God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, my mom, and then Jimmy Edward and Adalberto Gallegos and David Mares were probably my biggest influences. Latin Reed and Royal Jesters.
Oof. Oh yeah, yeah. David Modest, man. I'm trying to get him on the show, man. He's the ageless wonder.
He's still around?
Right, don't say that. You're gonna ruin my chances, brother.
I'm laughing because we were doing a news spot for Univision in San Antonio during Fiesta. We have a very dear friend, Cesar Medrano, who works the news at Univision, and Cesar calls me, "Hey, can you get down to the Market Square and in between the break, a commercial for the news? Since you're going to be there later that night, sure." And so David was there, and so they started with the I forgot who the reporter was, but they started with Mares and how he felt about being at Fiesta, and then and they said and Gary Hobbs is here too, and David Mares on TV, he says he's still around, I'm thinking like, dude, you're the one that's 10, 11 years older than me.
Right, yeah.
But he is a phenomenal singer, and
Oh yes.
I won't tell you his age, but he's 75. But he sings like he's 35 or something, because
I love his
phenomenal singer.
He's got a gravelly, yeah, he's got a gravelly voice that
Oh, yeah, he
really
can
comes
sing,
across.
but
That's
Jimmy Edward, Adalberto Gallegos, and David Mares were probably my biggest Tejano influences. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. David Villanueva Jr., Eagle Pass in the building. Saludos, he says. How are you?
Little
doing,
D from Gary Hobbs, the podcast.
Hey, yeah,
He's
go.
on our audio podcast. He's a
Yeah, when is your podcast for people that want to check out your podcast you have hanging with Gary?
Well, it
the
used
Gary
to be
podcast.
Hanging with Gary. We did like 72 episodes, and then we rebranded to Gary Hobbs, the podcast. We have about 20 episodes, but it's an audio podcast, and it's on most all of the digital platforms, YouTube and Spotify, all of the above, iHeart and
He hasn't invited
audio.
me yet. He hasn't invited me as a guest, so just so you
Uh,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Put you on the spot. Shut up, Lawrence.
We can't even afford the phone call right now.
They don't pay by. Remember the put in nickels? I'll tell you something that's funny. When I was a kid, growing up, I was a big nerd. I was always in computers and stuff like that. And back in the day, this is at the beginning.
Now you're just an experienced nerd.
You're right. At the infancy of internet, they didn't have the networking systems that they have now. Back then, you actually had to log into the servers, and you had to have the book for each server that it was. They all had different books that you had. They all had their own language, and I had the AT&T server, and AT&T at that time was only on the South, which is all of like South Texas, all of that. And South Texas was the proving ground for the automation of the payphone. So it used to be a quarter, and then they moved it to 35 cents. So if you put in a quarter, the automation would say, please deposit 10 cents. That's the automation. And I thought it was the coolest thing. I'm like 12, 13 years old. So I pulled out the book and I logged in. And the baud system, the way we would connect to the internet, we would take the phone and we would put it on a machine, and that's how we would connect to the internet. And I changed the code to say Lawrence is great. All the telephones in Corpus Christi. it took it took the Texas Rangers 3 months to find me because I was the one that did it. But I was 13. I thought it was cool as hell. But anyway, I don't know why I shared
Can you
that.
imagine what you can do now?
You don't want to know what I can do now. You don't want to know
No,
what I can do.
no, I don't. I really don't.
You don't want.
I got my own problems.
I have a master's. I'm 8 hours away from my master's degree in computer science. Trust me. You don't want to know what I can do now.
No, I don't.
Gracie says, "Thank you for all the wonderful music. Your song from the first note, it took me back to when my wonderful husband and I would dance all night long. Thank you for all the great memories we made to your songs." That's my wife, Gracie. Thank you, Grace, for saying that. Yeah, she was like, tell him this and tell him. I was like, put it in a message. What do you mean, tell him? She's gonna think I'm.
No, but she hit it on the nail. It's
Yeah,
about making them dance.
yeah.
That's
It's making memories. That's
that's
why
the
I tell
priority
everybody.
for us.
Yeah, when you go to the shows, put your phone down. Make the memories, man, because I guarantee you, I challenge you this. For everybody that takes their phone to the show and you stand in front of the deal and you're taking pictures and everything else, how many times do you go back and look at them? How many times do you go back and watch the song? Or even are you able to listen to it? You can't. You won't. So why waste your time? Put it down. Go find that pretty girl that smiled at you, ask her to dance, and make a memory. That's what the song is for. That's what it's about.
I
So
think you're just a romantic.
that's why I love your music.
You're not fooling anybody anymore.
I
You're
I
just a
believe
romantic.
I do believe in love, and I believe that we should love each other and we should treat each other with dignity and respect. That's what I do believe. I believe that we need more love in this world, especially now in this time when people are being treated the way they are.
What the world needs now.
Now, yeah, all right.
Love,
No, right? Sweet love.
sweet love.
Irma says, ooh, I will check it out. Yes,
Thank
check it
you,
out.
Irma.
Yeah, check it out. Buy the song. It's 99 cents. Buy the album. It's nothing. Erica Garcia, she says, hello, Lawrence and Gary. Well, hello, Erica. How are you doing? She's actually, Erica, I remember that when you came with us the very first time to go see your very first Tejano Music Award, and you stood up there and you watched Gary and Stephanie perform on stage, and you were just, she was in awe.
Hello, Erica.
Yeah, she's a big Tejano lover. Let's take another listen. There's another. All of your music is great. I have Quedaría. I wanted to revisit real quick, but I also have you mentioned another song. Let me see here. You mentioned another song, and I wanted to bring it up. Um, ¿Acaso no te das cuenta? Did you want to go
¿Acaso
ahead
no te
and
das cuenta? Yeah,
yeah?
it's a song written by Juan Treviño.
Did you want to go ahead and listen to that one, or did you want to do Quedaría?
Well, we'll let the cat out of the bag, but that song and Stephanie Montiel. I know they're in consideration, serious consideration for the next video. But again, I'm waiting for the green light on things. But that's the rumor we heard. So I was advised to start learning the lyrics.
Well, I'll put it out there again. I will. I would gladly help you out with that. I know we didn't get a chance the last time. Um, I think our times didn't work out or something happened. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But that's unfortunately that's the way life happens. Life does happen, and that's the unfortunate part. Like, yes, that was awesome. I would love to do that again. Those are memories for me. Exactly. You didn't put out your phone. You were just watching it and enjoying it, and then that's the whole thing. He is our culture. He's the man. Yeah. Pete Salmaron. I hope I said your name right, brother. I didn't mean to mess it up. So, do you want to? Which one do you want to hear, brother? It's up to you.
¿Acaso no te das cuenta? Is a great jam. It's.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
thought Juan. He's another guy that I heard his vocal track, and I thought, God, I know he wrote it, but man, he nailed it.
Yeah.
And so I'm learning his song, and I'm trying to. And oh my God, it was just. I was blessed on this album to have Stephanie Montiel and Juan Trevino singing with us, but it put a lot of pressure on someone like me. And but I hope they enjoy it. It's a great song. ¿Acaso
Well,
no te das cuenta?
to be honest with me, I've never looked at you that way. I've always thought you've been able to do anything you've ever wanted. I've never seen you apprehensive. I've always every time that we've seen you, we've gone to go see you because every time you've performed close to us, and I mean close, like 100 miles. We're like, okay, let's go see Gary, and we would go make the trip because you were worth the trip. And
I appreciate it.
I always admired your musicianship first, and the music that you performed because it wasn't the same music all the time. Like a lot of people have the same set, and you would always cater your set depending on where it was. Like what you would play here in West Texas was different when we'd see you in Dallas or when we'd see you in San Antonio. And that's a true sign. And plus, also, I can't imagine
That's a
somebody.
Yeah, I that's a big challenge, like for the band members, for us, because it's funny that at the drop of a dime at a gig, depending if we're playing at a festival that's an hour and a half or an hour 15, or I'm doing a private event where we're doing two sets of an hour 15. But at any moment, we're able to do about I don't know, 40, 45 songs.
Yeah,
And they got to know it. They, no excuses. But and I'm still blessed. It's funny, I'm blessed that I don't use iPads or notebooks, but and I remember most of the songs always. I have more problems with the songs that I wrote. All of a sudden okay, a lyric here, but it's funny that I can sing 40, 45 songs, and that's just our set, because I know more songs. But and so I have a good memory on that. But if you ask me where I was last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't know where I was
it was north, I think, dude. You
three
were you were
days
in the
ago.
south.
Like I don't know. Where did y'all play? I don't know.
Yeah, I
That's it's funny, but it's true.
yeah.
Amazing that it's just the consistency and continuity of the same songs. 40, 45 songs plus. And but then you asked me where I was last week, and yeah, and I may get that. What do they call it? It's not Alzheimer's. What do they call it? Sometimes. Sometimes I
Sometimes
forget.
it's selective learning or selective
Yes, yes.
memory, right?
But "Acaso no te das cuenta" is a really nice song, and just the lyrics on it and the melody was a little bit different for me, and again, it was a challenge. But I never, oh my God, Lawrence, I never back down from something, a challenge when it's musically right. But again, it's like I I go into these problems or these challenges, and I find myself always saying, like, God, I love this business. God, I love this business, because
Right.
it's hitting me in the face. Like, I could be stranded somewhere 6 hours on the bus or the RV or the truck or the rental or the van, and God, I love this business. But Juan Trevino's songs are amazing, and I hope they enjoyed it. It's ¿Acaso no te das cuenta?
Yeah, Casa no te das cuenta real quick. Pete Salmaron says, on behalf of the Mexican American Association, we love your music. And yeah, so there you go. Thank you so very much. And Irma says it's called selective amnesia. Well, let's go ahead and take a listen to, this is a great song. Like I said, everything that you put out is always great.
Appreciate it, brother.
And well, ¿Acaso no te das cuenta? With Juan Trevino, Gary Hobbs. That is the one and only Gary Hobbs.
The Juan Trevino.
And the Juan Trevino. And I'm Indio here on Cubo Radio. Check it out.
¿Acaso no te das cuenta? Yo no sé si lo haces a propósito y solo quieres tú jugar conmigo. solo somos amigos. Y me cuesta tanto hablar contigo.
Cuando me platicas lo que te pasa, que otro amor te ha destrozado el alma. Soy solo un simple confidente, a veces también pañuelo de lágrimas.
Pero ya me cansé,
porque eres tú tan cruel.
¿acaso no te das cuenta que yo daría la vida por tu amor? Que está mi alma vacía, que en una noche tu cuerpo se impregnó. A veces batallo para respirar, porque te sueño y despierto y no estás.
¿Acaso no te das cuenta que cuando sufres también sufro por ti? Que cuando te tengo cerca solo quisiera arroparte junto a mí. Eres la estrella que alumbra mi existir. Yo solo quiero tu aire compartir.
¿Acaso no te das cuenta?
Pero ya me cansé,
Porque eres tú tan cruel.
¿acaso no te das cuenta que yo daría la vida por tu amor? Que está mi alma vacía, que en una noche en tu cuerpo se impregnó. Y a veces batallo para respirar, porque te sueño y despierto y no estás.
¿Acaso no te das cuenta que cuando sufres también sufro por ti? Que cuando te tengo cerca solo quisiera arroparte junto a mí. Eres la estrella que alumbra mi existir. Yo solo quiero tu aire compartir.
¿Acaso no te das cuenta?
¿Acaso no te das cuenta?
Yeah, buddy. It's a great song, bro.
He nailed it.
Yeah, no, it was great. And but it's still a Gary song to me. It's still.
It really is. I want to say it's this new Tejano hybrid that it's and that was a challenge to me. But and God knows I love the challenge. But it's a really nice song. And just the lyrics, the melodies on it, and I heard it, and it's one of those like I love it, but man, I'm gonna have to do that one. It's like I'm gonna have to study. I'm gonna have to.
Well,
Oh my God! And but you get into the studio,
there's like a slight key shift in it, or is it just what am I hearing there? Is it kind of
no, we actually Juan actually had to come a whole key down because he sings higher. Him and Stephanie, my God, is like,
yeah? Because
but
it sounds it's. I'm used to your kind of. I don't want to call you a baritone, but you've got a deeper voice, than most.
well, so I don't know if I ever told you this, but in high school I was in choir my junior senior year, and I sang bass. I
Hmm.
was uh I was all regional, and I didn't even study for it. I didn't even, I wanted to go perform Chicano, Tejano, but in choir, I've always been a bass singer, and so believe it or not, but everything practically everything that I've ever recorded, I can sing it an octave lower,
Oh
and
wow.
I can get on a piano. And so, am I singing 42 years out of my range? I think so. Just that I can't duplicate Barry White, so like Gary White. So, but it's people don't know that they. So something very high. I don't sing in falsetto. I just I have a range so much, and but uh but some of these singers sing very high, and to do collaborations with them. But again, Juan was just like Stephanie. I heard their tracks and I go, oh my God, I got a challenge before me. So
I got to
it
climb
was
that high.
great.
Yeah, I said something the other day and people were like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, men are it's easier for men to go falsetto higher than women because they generally have a stronger breath, they have the stronger ability to push a falsetto, because it's just a physicality kind of thing. They're able to go falsetto higher, So it's not unorthodox to hear a guy sing really, really high. But I mean, just look at what was it the brothers? Um, I can't remember their names
The
now.
Bee Gees.
Yeah, the Bee Gees, and
Well,
also
Brian McKnight.
yeah,
Yeah,
hmm
man, those are excellent singers.
yeah, but they all sang in falsetto, and people thought they were females. George Vences says, "Saludos, Nindio and Hobbs, everyone. Freestyle Cartel in the building. Thanks very much, brother. Be checking it out. Put down who's next on your show so that we can share it with everybody." Hey, Gary. I want to remind everybody, if you want to get a hold of Gary's merch, if you want to get a hold of Gary's CDs, you want to get a hold of anything that Gary has available. I mean, he's got a catalog. I know because I have it all, and CDs, albums, T-shirts. Gary, I haven't bought any of your T-shirts, bro. That's the one thing that I don't have. I've given your T-shirts that I had last year. I gave them away during the 12 days of Christmas, and I don't have any caps. You didn't have any caps the last time.
We're gonna have to get back at you, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna have to get back at and I really do buy everything from the artist because I support artists. I believe that you should practice what you preach. But if you do want to go out there and get anything from Gary or just follow out where he's at, and he's got a great cruise coming up next year. What is it? January, February.
Well, the one for this February 1st through the 8th, 26, that one's on Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, but that's been sold out since June. So
Hijo.
we have 730 guests, and when you look at the bands and the staff, we're hitting like 775, 780. And so we had to start registration for the next year, the 27. It takes about 15 to 18 months to get the venues
Mm-hmm.
and do all the legwork that I don't do, of course, but a travel agent and my wife and the rest of the inner circle. But we have announced January 31st to February the 7th for 27, and we've confirmed Stephanie Montiel, Texas Latino. We did reach out to Ram, and of course, Ram has been going through some health issues, so we continue to keep him in prayers. And but Ram said he wanted to do it, but he couldn't commit to 27 as of yet. And we did reach out to Jay again to see if he comes back in 27. So there'll be more artists to be added to the lineup really soon. But there's info on GaryHobbsCruise.com. My wife Diana and I, we put on these Tejano cruises, and it's nothing but Tejano.
Yeah, this one that's already this one that's already sold out has Tejano Loco, Jay Perez, Gary Hobbs, Ram Herrera, David Mares, and more. And it doesn't have Indio. It does not have Indio.
You know, man,
Again,
again,
again. Oh, man.
you, you see, if you would have won at the Pura Vida Award, you
Oh no.
know what? We're gonna put on a loser.
That's hard, man. That is so hard. My
Hey, you have better odds at winning than I do.
oh,
In 42 years, I got one Tejano Music Award. Like,
no, no, brother. I think you're way surpassed a lot of other people, guaranteed. And I've listened to a lot of music, and trust me, when I decipher music, people are like, "Huh?" You know, so
people just don't vote for the half breed.
and they don't vote for the Indian. My daughter Anna, she's like, "What's your favorite pizza topping?"
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni.
Yeah.
See,
Double
she's
pepperoni.
double pepperoni. See, he's human. She's like into pineapple and stuff, and I'm like, ugh. So, but let's see.
I don't get exotic like that. I just
Yeah, it's just
pepperoni.
yeah. Or I like my drinks just like regular drinks, and why put a lemon instead? That's not a fruity drink. I don't do fruity drinks. So, but if you want to get a hold of Freddie. If you want to get a hold of Gary or any of his stuff, he's got a wonderful website. You can go ahead and check it out, and it's right there.
There you
Gary
go.
Hobbs website. There's a QR code. It'll take you right to it. GaryHobbs.com. That's where you can get all of the news and information that you need from Gary Hobbs. He's got a lot of stuff that's there. It's very current. So be sure to go and check it out. And, buy his music. Go to his shows. Where are you going to be playing next, brother, man? Where's your next place that you're going to be at?
I know I'm headed to Lubbock, Texas this weekend, Friday at Pure Tejano. Saturday, I'm in Rock Springs for a private event. Next Friday, I'm in the Dallas area in Oak Cliff,
Run!
Bar, Players Sports Bar. Uh,
It's Oak Cliff, bro. I'm
Oak Cliff.
sorry. Yeah, it's just that's a not. I'm not making fun of you guys from Oak Cliff. I'm just saying that
It's
every
it's my hood.
You're right. That's my hood, Oak Cliff. That's
Yeah.
my hood.
Then that following Saturday, I think we're in Sinton, Texas, another private event, and but we should be posting the calendar on all social media within the next day or two
Yeah.
for
So be
November.
definitely, and you've got a lot of shows ahead of you, but that doesn't preclude the fact that you're available for other events and everything else. Please reach out to him. And I will tell you, I will attest to Gary, and I am as honest as I can possibly be. He has never disappointed me or any of my family members that have gone to see Gary
Appreciate
Hobbs.
that.
He's done a great show every show. It's been different every time because we've been in different locations, but it's always been a great show. And if you love to get together and dance and enjoy really good music, go out to Gary Hobbs and see his show. It's
Appreciate
a
it.
great, great, great show. And
Thank you.
Erica says, come back to San Angelo.
Soon I
No,
hope.
no, because this is loser Lawrence show.
There's only one thing worse than this, and it's this.
It's double
Double.
Look, oh man. No, I truly appreciate you, Gary. It's time for you to go ahead and give out your shout outs, your thank yous, and everything else. It's just you, brother. I'm going to step out all for you, brother.
No, first of all, thank you, Indio. Thank you, brother. You're so humble and you always support young artists and veterans, and you've always supported me. Thank you so much. Those people that are tuning in, want to thank them. Again, 42 years, nothing but Tejano music, and we continue to work and continue to promote our music. What we think is good music, whether it's Tejano, whether it's they're calling it something else. I don't know what they're going to call it next, but all those people that have supported us 42 years, thank you so much, and we look forward to maybe seeing you on the road soon. Con el favor de Dios, and Dios los guarde, Dios los cuide. God bless.
All right. Good one, good one, good one there. Well, thank you so very much, Gary, for being here. I really do appreciate you, bro.
Thank you for
And
putting up
yeah,
with me.
no, it's always a pleasure, man. This is your house. You're welcome back anytime, man. And
Appreciate they've asked me before why on the podcast and our podcast I cut up. I It's a mechanism that I've always had a sense of humor, but then they tell me, but then on stage you're so serious, and I go, yes, because that's my job.
yeah,
Once I'm there, I'm thinking I'm thinking lyrics. I'm thinking, I always try and change up songs every night. It's never the same song list ever. But
Right.
I'm looking at the crowd. Are they dancing? Are they? I'm looking at the promoter skipping out on me.
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So, but when I'm on stage, I always try to say hello, and and I am a lot more serious on stage. Yes, but here on podcast and interviews, it just gives me a little time to chill and relax and just be myself. And like,
Well,
I
it's
have a
also
warped sense of humor, but
it's also just being able to humanize you, because some people, they don't understand that you're just a person as well, and you have,
I'm
you
just
know.
grandpa.
No, I mean, because some people sometimes they don't realize that you're very attainable, and that once they understand, this is my whole goal in this show, is for people to understand that there's a story behind every song that you put out, and you are a person and you have a connection to each and every song that you put out. That will promote that song, and then when they can ask for that song, because then they have that emotional attachment to it. They'll say, hey, you know what, I want to hear that song because Gary said this is why he wrote this song, or this is why he sings this song, this is why he likes this song. And they'll have an emotional attachment. It'll humanize it, as opposed to being this exterior kind of idea that's outside of themselves. It can be more human and more there'll be more of a good relationship that way. I've known you for a long time, and I've enjoyed your music, for countless of years. And like I said, I have every album that you've ever put out,
I appreciate that.
and it's the relationship that I've developed with the music and with you that really makes it. That's why I can be a good judgment of, this is why I like this song. This is where this is at.
We're just hopeless romantics.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Gary, thank you so very much for being here. If you're in Lubbock, be checking out Gary. Gary's going to be there this weekend, and be watching out for everything else. If you get a chance to vote for your favorite artist, because Tejano Music Awards are accepting votes. I don't know who's on there. I'm not going to tell you who is, but
Well, I'm not, so y'all vote for.
vote for. I don't know who's nominated, or how that. There are rules. I do know the rules. I do know how it's supposed to be done. But I didn't participate this year, so sorry. I have a lot of other ones, but when you get a chance, show your thanks to artists and say thank you, because they will, and nothing says thank you more than singing their songs. And my daughter says 100% Gary has been part of my childhood and will always have a special place in my heart.
Thank you.
That's my daughter. She used to sing your music verbatim, and she doesn't speak a lick of Spanish. So, and it was wonderful to hear her sing your songs verbatim in the car. It was just wonderful.
There you
But
go.
that's how much you've been in our lives, Gary. So I don't know if
I
you,
appreciate y'all.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah. So anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you. You have a good one. Just remember, if you had a bad day today, if today wasn't your day, just remember, every day planes take off against the wind. You matter. You are loved. Be kind to each other. Be human to each other. God bless. Thank you very much, Gary. We're going to leave you with Soy Libre, his current hit right now. And go check it out. Make memories. Enjoy yourselves. Hasta luego. Bye.
Que me extrañas, que otra vez te equivocaste, que aprendiste a valorarme en todo este tiempo, que de mí estuviste lejos. No lo creo, es otro de tus caprichos para regresar conmigo, estar a tu lado. Solo fue tiempo perdido. no soy el mismo que tú maltratabas y no te decía nada. Yo ahora soy libre, dueño de mi tiempo, y si de algo me arrepiento hoy, es haberte conocido, porque a tu lado conocí el dolor, cuando yo solo te brindaba amor. Con tus palabras no puedes borrar, estas heridas para siempre están. Llegaste tarde, tú ya puedes irte. Soy tan feliz ahora que soy libre. Ojalá que te sirva de lección, que no se juega con un corazón. No, no. Ya ves, ya no soy el mismo que tú maltratabas y no te decía nada. Yo ahora soy libre, dueño de mi tiempo, y si de algo me arrepiento hoy, es haberte conocido, porque a tu lado conocí el dolor, cuando yo solo te brindaba amor. Con tus palabras no puedes borrar, estas heridas para siempre están. Llegaste tarde, tú ya puedes irte. Soy tan feliz ahora que soy libre. Ojalá que te sirva de lección, que no se juegue